Because it starts with self-work, knowing who you are. And immediately you know who you are, you will know what you want. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Farida Ali. For the returning subscribers, I want to say thank you so much. I can't pay you, and I'm sure you're learning, you're enjoying the process. Also, don't forget to be giving me feedback, especially on the comment box, so that I get to know what my audience really needs and what do I need to improve. Feedback is very important. And for those who are new in this YouTube channel, I'm giving you this 1 minute. Just go back, subscribe, like this video, and after you're done watching this video, you know what? The best thing you can do is share it with somebody else so that we get to learn together. Yeah, so today I'm seated alone so that we can have this conversation. You know, most of the time I do a lot of reflection. I'm an overthinker, I can say. Yeah, maybe. For those who don't know, who know me, can talk of me to being an overthinker or somebody who reflects a lot on things. And since I started this YouTube journey, I have been hosting guests who've been giving us wisdom and speaking their mind. And I've seen the need of me sometimes coming in and even just having a conversation with you people on my thoughts, my takeaways, and my reflections. And from the past few days, I've just been overwhelmed. Yeah, the last few days have been very heavy for me. I've found myself crying. I've found myself questioning my why. I've just found myself in a state of confusion. And on the process, I just thank God I have people. And when I say people, I don't mean a lot of people. Yeah, I have people who are there for me. Mr. Save the Planet, I know you're going to watch this video. This is where we start to use that name. Story of another day. And my cousin, Lily, who has been a very important person in my life, I can see. And I think it's reciprocated. I'm also a very important person in her life, you know. Yep, but that's it. I'm trying to tell you all this because I don't also think that I'm ready for this conversation, but yeah, it's the right time for me to have such a conversation with you. And there are also people who are part of the process, you know. Yeah, now you've understood the reason as to why I'm here talking to you. So why don't we just talk about self-care and wellness? And when I talk of self-care and wellness, I'm not even talking about the self-care of being there for somebody else. I'm talking about you. You know, many a times as human beings, we get carried away by overworking, adulting, for us who are adulting, relationships. I mean, life moves so fast, and on the process, we don't even have time to sit, reflect, and digest what is really happening in our own lives. How am I saying this? I'm using myself as an example. I feel like as young people, we've put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and on the process we forget about ourselves. I'm not blaming us, you know. And even I think COVID has played a great role for us in us being like this. Because, you know, many of us were at home, some lost their jobs, those who were in school or not even going to school. And then things had slowed down. We were all eager and anxious to see when are we getting back to normal? When are we getting back to normal, you know? And then the opportunity came for us. COVID is no longer here. COVID went. We are back to normal. So I think we wanted to go back so fast, and everybody is putting a lot of effort to get back to where we were, and even better, and even to compensate on the things and the time and some of the achievements that we were not able to even achieve because of COVID. And that one only has gotten us now to this state of affair. Apart from that, I feel like there's also the year is coming to an end, yeah, and there's also now the burden, you know, January, February, towards now October. There's the burden we have carried the whole year, the things we have gone through the whole year, and then here we are coming to an end. You know, it's work, you people. Let's start there. it's work. The experiences, the things that we've gone through. I mean, that's so overwhelming. That is why we are here right now. And that is why I'm here talking to you about self-care. I know I've not gotten there yet, but let's talk about it. How then do you invest on your own self-care? Because we cannot only rely on people. I was even having this conversation with Mr. Planet, Mr. Save the Planet yesterday. And I was telling him, I wish as human beings we could get to a point whereby we're just self-sufficient. I know at some point we really need people for business, we really need people for everything that we do. But then before we even get to needing people, are you there for yourself? Are you there for yourself? Have you mastered your body? Have you mastered yourself to an extent that when you feel like you're not you can tell that I'm not me, Farida, you know what, you're not okay. Then what do we do, Farida? Because it starts there before you even seek for help. Farida, you're not okay, you need to look for somebody to talk to somebody. But before you even get there, what do we do to get there? So one, I think, is being honest with yourself. I've actually written it here. Being honest with yourself. Are you sincere and honest to yourself, or are you lying to yourself? If something is not working, tell yourself it's not working. If you feel like you are too lazy or you have not done enough, just tell yourself. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Just tell yourself the same way you'd give somebody feedback. You're too lazy, Farida. What do we do for you to move from where you are to something? Or you need to do something. Like, be your own watchdog. And how can you be your own watchdog? By like noting down. You see this book? I have several books. I just move around. At least this one can fit in any pocket and be in my handbag. I move them everywhere. I write down some of the things that I want. And as I'm writing down some of the things that I want, I don't just go for them for the sake of going for them. I had that challenge. I was struggling with it. Yani, I planned for something and immediately I'm there. I just want to do it. I'm not even thinking of it. Maybe let's say it has consequences or what are the advantages, disadvantages, and everything. But as you write down everything, if something is not urgent, this is something I was told. If something is not urgent and it can be planned and it has, like, put a time frame for it and think about it, build it and work on it. If it's something that needs your urgent implementation, then you can go ahead and implement it. Because the age that we are in, for me, Generation Z, the 20s, I feel like it's the most exciting age that a lot of things come to your mind. A lot of ideas come to our mind. A lot of questions come in our mind because we are still trying to figure out the very many options that we have and how then are you going to achieve them. So I think putting things down or journaling will really help. And the second thing is investing in yourself here. Here on the brain. You see, when you look at young people, or when you look at someone articulating issues, you look at someone speaking of something so deep, that was work. There was some effort that was put in there. But the effort, how then? It starts from, let's say, do you read books? Because for me, I think books have also been have played a very great role in me, even still growing into how I articulate issues and how I reason out. I think you can look for something that works for you. For me, I do podcasts, I do books, and most of the time I do feedback. Like when I have conversations with someone, it's more about me getting to understand about an issue, and then if it's, let's say, from my performance, from everything, I ask for feedback. That one has also helped me improve on these places that I feel like I am weak, or when people give me feedback, they think that this is a place that you need to work on. So consuming content, being intentional on the content that you consume, even the people you follow on social media. I mean, what kind of knowledge do you get from their content? And it doesn't mean life has to be so serious. Sometimes we follow these people just for entertainment, and that is why I'm also looking for ways in which I can make this YouTube channel fun and not just about serious talks only. So we've talked about journaling, we've talked about the content we consume, and then 3, the people you relate with. Who are you allowing in your circle? What kind of conversations do you have with these people? Because I believe in as much as we only live once, I think you need to have a circle of people who you can have fun. You have a circle of people who you can hold each other accountable, and people who are thinking of growth, people who are thinking of development, not only for you, but even for themselves. And people who are very intentional on everything that they do, because I have come to learn, or I do believe that whatever environment you put yourself in, it actually even shapes how you think. I'm very grateful, and I keep saying this when I'm talking to people, that I'm still in school, of course, but I've seen my girlfriends. I have a girlfriend from Tanzania, a girlfriend from Kenya, and they had finished their degree. One had already started her master's in Tanzania. The next thing, I'm seeing her in Norway. I'm like, sis, we've not even graduated. She's like, yes, I'm taking my second master's, you know. And then there's this Mombasa lady. She did her degree in Cyprus, and she was back in Mombasa. So for me, I was just looking at, okay, let me also get a degree. Of course, I'm not comparing myself to anyone, but we were on the same level. Yesterday, we were having a phone call with this lady, and she's like, Farida, you know what, you highly need to consider looking for opportunities over here too, because I'm like, sis, where are you? I traveled back to Cyprus. I'm doing my master's in international law. I'm like, wow. I'm not taking it as pressure, and I don't want you to take it as pressure, but I'm like, wow, this is what I want. Like, who am I now to sit and relax with whatever level of education? I know it's going to be a surprise. I'm going to share it later. The level of education that I have, if my friends can move out of their comfort zone. And shout out to my Cameroonian girlfriend. Yeah, she started her PhD at the age of 26. I'm not putting any pressure, a disclaimer in terms of education to anyone. But let me also give another perfect example. We can talk about organizations and the opportunities people are going through. I have friends who are founders of their own organizations, just like me. I'm looking at them, they're like, they've gotten funding for their organizations, they're implementing organizations. There's one lady, I am part of her organization's fellowship, and I went there, I saw her sitting, and some of her team members are the ones who are even presenting about the organization and giving us an overview about the organization. I'm like, that's growth, you know? Getting people to believe in your vision and being able to sit there as a director. And these are people who I highly relate with, and I don't want to say we're on the same level, but people I can relate to. So such pressure, when we talk of the circle of friends that you have and the circle of people that you have, it might not necessarily be education related, but I'm trying to look at even your interest. You might be a business person, but amongst your friend who is a business person or who is doing something related to business, you know, you might be a farmer. Amongst your friend, do you have somebody who has influence in farming, who is doing something related to farming, so that whatever step they take, whatever they do, it inspires you? Lastly, so that we close this conversation, I think when we talk of wellness, self-care, and the things that I've been able to mention is boundaries. What comes in your mind when you hear boundaries? Let me just sip this. What comes into your mind when you hear boundaries? Because boundaries, I feel that boundaries is a conversation that we can have in a whole episode. And I'm looking for somebody with whom we can have such a conversation. By the way, I'm still having a challenge having such a conversation alone on camera. But one thing I can tell you is, once you want to work on your boundaries, it starts with self-work, knowing who you are. And immediately you know who you are, you will know what you want and what you not want someone to do to you. And not only knowing what you want now can help you set the boundaries. Because if person A wants to come to you this much, but for you this much is what you want, then you wouldn't allow this person to cross this. That's where you draw the boundaries. And once you draw the boundaries, I feel like it doesn't end there. Do you communicate? Because there are some people who know their boundaries, but they don't even know how to communicate. Somebody might be crossing this boundary, but they don't even know how to tell them no. So also we can work on that, and I think communication is also something else that we really need to come and talk about. If you're watching this and you feel like we can come and have this conversation, just reach out to me. You can comment, and I usually respond to the comments on our comment box. So communicating, do you communicate what you really want? Even if it's in spaces, you're given an opportunity that you feel like it doesn't work for you. You've been given a role that you feel you cannot perform. Somebody has done to you something that doesn't make you happy. Are you able to tell them, even in the kindest way possible, that this is not something that I want? And this is something I've become so intentional about too. Hey, I can't believe I'm the one who's talking all this wisdom. But yeah, I have, and I have all the bragging rights. Let me stop being humble over here. Yeah, communicating your boundaries. And I think being honest and genuine with yourself, as we had talked about it in the first place. Are you also genuine and honest with yourself when it comes to your boundaries? So that you also don't disrespect your boundaries. Because if you want other people to respect your boundaries, then it should start with you. Do you respect your boundaries? Like, you're a person who can't stay up until 10. Or rather, that's what you've decided. I can't stay out until 10. And then you go beyond that. That means you've disrespected your boundary, And by you doing so, how do you expect somebody else to respect your boundaries? That was just like an example I've given. So it starts by you respecting your boundaries, and then later on, slowly communicating your boundaries in any means possible that you can. Be it in writing, be it in opening your mouth. Just tell somebody. Even if it won't be at that time, because me and my cousin sometimes, I do something, I don't even know that I have done something wrong, but she will tell me later. She'll be like, Farida, when you were talking to me at this time, this is what you said. I don't like it. And you know what? I apologize. Yes, I tell her I'm sorry, and I work on it slowly. And I don't get to repeat it. So I think communicating our boundaries is also very important, but at some point, because when you focus on wellness and self-care and inner work, it will not be easy. Let me just put it that it will not be easy. It's a lonely journey, because there are people who will follow. There are people who used to think they're your friend, they will follow upon the process, because our ways, they can't keep up with you fasting. And then the second thing, apart from the loneliness, is sometimes it gets confusing. You do something and you're like, is this really it? Like, it gets confusing and it needs a lot of wisdom. And what can I say? It's work. It needs effort. Yeah, it needs effort. You need to do a lot of investment and even change your routine and monitor that. Are you even moving a step ahead from where you have started to where you are going? And yeah, those are just my random thoughts. I figured I should share them right now, and I hope this video will continue, because where I am right now, I'm going to try see if I can be able to speak my mind and share with you. So thank you. If you have not followed me on other social media platforms, you can follow me on Instagram at Farida Ali _. You can follow me on Facebook at Farida Ali, on Twitter at Farida Ali, and then you can also follow my organization name, Elimu Care. What we do at Elimu Care is we are championing for education development by addressing issues of gender-based violence and gender equity and equality. So that is an organization I founded, and I keep reminding you that you can follow us on all social media platforms at Elimu Care. Yeah, I'm going to share most of the work that we are going to do even on this platform, and I believe it's an opportunity for us all to learn and unlearn together. And with that, I want to say ciao. I love you.